Hello everybody, this is Minnie. Give me a few minutes, guys. I gotta get some stuff cleaned up. I've been thrashing out on the Mustang, and I ain't very well set up right now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm doing some quick cleanup real quick, and I'll be right back with you guys. It's sometimes I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I get in the mood to work, and when you get in the mood to work, I just start thrashing. I don't pay attention, and I got a wee bit of a mess on the table, so I'm trying to get stuff cleaned up for today's how-to tutorial. I'm gonna try something new today. The product that we're gonna use today for the door jamming is Milliput, and I'll show you guys this here in a minute. I'll put that there, and we're gonna be door jamming. I got this right here, getting ready. I'm gonna do some door jamming work, and I just wanted to, share a little bit with you guys real quick on doing that. Morning, Bill. I see Bobbleheads Customs here with us already. Bill, I'm just trying to get some stuff cleaned up. I've been thrashing on the Mustang build, buddy, and just got a lot of crap out. Trying to get all that sorted and placed up. Working with the Milliput this week. Instead of trying to do a bunch of cutting and gluing and fitting in stuff, the body work that I use, the body filler that I use, I guys shared with you a couple weeks ago, it is really harsh, and it's messy. It's a wet. So I was trying this Milliput out, and it seemed to work very well yesterday. So we're going to go in there with it this morning, and we're going to do some I'm going to show you guys how to work with that. I tried to I tried to do some YouTube searching on it, and a lot of people are using it to like build military bags for their tanks and armor stuff, which is really cool because it helps out on the stowage. Some guys they use the sandbags for stowage, like making, not sandbags, they're making like tarps and roll up, stuff that's rolled up to add details to their tanks and stuff that they're working with. And some of the other guys were using the Milliput to actually change the uniforms on some of their military guys. And I'm telling you what, at 1/35 scale, that takes some skills, because those guys are itty bitty and little. That's all I'm really doing here. Oh, good afternoon, John. John Pohl is with us. If you guys haven't checked out one of his new videos, he just finished a new ride, and plus he's working on the Dragon Lady build, the AMX, the Johan AMX Javelin for the Dragon Lady. Bobblehead just posted up a new video this morning, well, yesterday I believe it was. And there's a lot of stuff going on in the community. I don't know if you guys follow H-Town Model Works on Facebook, but he's working on a guitar, and he's putting down a beautiful, man, you ought to see the paint job he's putting down on a guitar. And I believe, I don't want to speak out of turn here, but I believe the guitar is for CT. Or, not CT, Joe. Little Joe. I know we haven't seen Little Joe in a while. The last video Little Joe shared with us, he kind of got Joe a little upset. He was trying to lend some advice to a fellow YouTuber, and the guy came back with a smarty smirk kind of comment, and our buddy Little Joe was kind of pissed off because, you know, you try to help, you try to share advice, and then people, I think Joe got the feeling that the kid was, you know, a know-it-all. So it's kind of hard sometimes to help people that don't realize we're trying to share advice. So I know that kind of really teaked Little Joe off for a little bit. So hopefully Joe can get back to us and get back to sharing with us. But they're working on one hell of a good looking guitar over there at H-Town. So if you guys can find him on Facebook, Freddie at H-Town Model Works. You guys need to go check that out and check out that custom steering wheel. Is just, oh man, it's beast. Oh, good morning, Jay. Let's see, what am I doing here? Just kind of trying to get cleaned up, guys. I've been working. I kind of, oh man, I kind of waited till the last minute to get on this. Mustang for the Heartland contest thing, so I'm kind of thrashed. I have the desk all thrashed out. But I got another project for a customer. He is a friend, but he wanted a more of a realistic setup for a lowrider that he wants to build to replicate. So I've been helping him out on that, and I kind of got behind with my own stuff. First of all, I want to thank Rick over there at Central Pennsylvania Model Car Club. I don't have an Ollie's out my way. Being here in the Midwest, we have things called like big lots, and if I drive to the city, there's a place called Cargo Largo, but they don't usually have model kits. And Ollie's out there on the East Coast is having a blowout sale for $7.99. Rick picked this up for me. This is going to go to this right here is going to be donated to finish out a special project that me and Gap Hill Speed Shop have planned. So as soon as all that falls into place, Rick supplied this kit for us to finish out this special build that we're going to do, and we're going to try to have this done for the Central, either for the Central Pennsylvania Model Show that they're going to have on later this year, or next year's N&L East. But we'll give you guys more details on this coming up soon. But this right here is a project between me, John over there at the Gap Hill Speed Shop, and the Central Pennsylvania Model Car Club. Now, the Central Pennsylvania Model Car Club, they have their own Facebook page. You guys can go over there, check them out. Even though you might not be in Pennsylvania, you might not be in their model club, it's still open to everybody to enjoy the modeling hobby. So, now I got my desk cleaned up. This right here is going to go, it's a build for my buddy Dwayne, and I still got to do the lowrider suspension and stuff with it. But what we're going to do now is the doors. For years, you know, he's been trying to get doors done, and if you can see, you can't just build the door. Here, I'm going to take the door off. You can't just build the door jamb. You got to have everything in place. So you got to have your tub in there, you got to have your chassis in there, and you got to have your body in there, just so you can see the gaps and everything. What I want to show you guys today, I was working with this Milliput, and instead of trying to, you know, feed plastic in here over and over and then get the right shape and everything, we're going to do it with the Milliput and see how that goes. And you see how you get the gap and everything in there. So what I'm going to try to do, I'm going to try to close this up for when it's built. You know, he can glue that like this, and then we're going to get the way the door jamb and everything wants to work out for me. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of easier ways to do all this. John, it might be a connection issue this weekend. I was trying to watch the live show on Tuesday with the ISM guys, and yeah, I couldn't get on it. A lot of buffering. So if you got time to be patient and figure it out, I hope. If not, you can watch it once I post it live. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to tape it like it was glued. So that way I can, you know, close that gap up. That way it looks right when we put it on, when it's getting built. Alright, so there. And then the Milliput, we'll do the doors. Let me see, get my camera angled right. Okay. Jay, are you on Facebook? And I need to find a way. Comment when I upload this video. Comment on one of the videos so that way I can sub you. For some reason I can't find you on YouTube or on Facebook, bud. So Milliput is a two-part. Milliput is a two-part, like this, and you're supposed to cut off both equal amounts, but I don't have a scale, so all I do is I just take a straight razor blade and cut me off a little bit at a time. Cut me off a little bit. And then you just knead it together. This right here, it says it's yellow gray, but it dries yellow for me. And I don't know if that's what it's supposed to do. But my intentions was to buy this. I'm going to try to do some Rocket Bunny style body kits for some projects that I have going or I want to do. So first all I'm do, I'm just going to knead this all in there together. Get it all broken down. They say you can use water and it keeps it soft and keeps your fingers from getting clean. So I just got me a little thing of water and I just dip my fingers in there and then I just mix it together. Does it work good, Big A? I barely tried it yesterday. I was having issues trying to get the tail light panel the way I wanted to on the Mustang, and then I wanted to change the front bumper a little bit. So I barely tried it yesterday. I like the way it's workable, and I like the way that it finally dried this morning. But like I said, I've never put no product over the top of it or nothing like that. Oh, hello, Starting Garage. How you been, bud? Hello, Hurricane. You seem to be new to me. I hadn't seen you post in my videos before. How did you hear about my live feed, bud? Oh, yeah, Jays. I know that. Yeah, yeah. Hello, Ron. Are you out and about? Yeah, you're from the road. There you go. Oh, okay. Alright. Well, what I done here is I mixed it up and I'm keeping it a little wet so it can be formed. Hello, Tommy. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to roll it a little bit. And the reason why I'm going to roll it is because I'm going to try to do the bottom jamb first. So then I'm going to cut it to length, or pull it to length. I'm going to roll it again. Then what I'm going to do, I'm going to start with this side here. And you can actually roll this out pretty thin. What I'm doing, I'm just pinching pieces off. And right now I'm just shoving it in there. It looks kind of crude right now, but the beauty part about this is you could take a Q-tip, like so. You can dip it in water. This right here is dipped in water. And you can go in there, and because this is water-based, you can shape it. You can get it smooth out. And then it will, I did find out that once it's dry, it is sandable pretty well. It sands out pretty easy. And then you guys see with that little pinch I made, I still have quite a bit. And then I also found out that I bought some makeup brushes from the dollar store, and they're a little firmer, and then you can go in there, you know, you can go in there and you can smooth it, you know, get it into place, and you can smooth it out. And what we're going for, we're trying to fill in, get a little bit more. You're just trying to fill in that gap and keeping it smooth as possible, because you're limited to your body. You're limited to you're limited to your space. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to be test fitting the door as I'm doing this. Getting me, put the door back on there, and then I'm getting me a little bit of exactly where I need to be. And then once we get the door jamb built, that's when I'll build the door panel. Because this right here is going to have the best look for is when it's, you know, open and closed. You want to make sure all that works right. Because I've done it myself where I try to build a door jamb first. I try to build the door panel first. And then when you come back, it don't work out right. And then there's also these different type of clay tools you could pick up. I picked these up fairly cheap. Then basically it helps you go in there and you build your line. Once you shut that door, you'll build your that panel line. You guys catch Lucifer's newest video. He is going to do a new style of hinge. I cannot wait to try that style out. He's doing some more perfecting on it over this next week. And he's going to come back and show us the end results. And it's more of a realistic looking hinge, guys. It was very, very, very neat looking. As I'm showing you guys here, This hinge here is going over the fender. It's right here is going over the fender. Let me show you what we're talking about. The hinge I set up over here, he's getting the way for the door to go into the fender, and mine goes over the fender. This is just the easiest way to hinge this for the customer. You can flip the hinge over this way to get it to go into the body, but then there, you're going to have some other issues. But what Clutch is working on over there over at Lucifer's Garage, if you guys ain't subbed to him, go check that channel out. He's making a different style hinge. Now with the help of the water, you guys can see how you get that bottom part filled in, and it's going to it's smooth. It's going to fill right here into the rail, and then all this other stuff will just come off. Hello, Ryan. So then what I'm going to do is you'll have to let this dry, and then you pull it apart, because since we put the tape down there, the tape is going to give it a bigger form to glue on right there. So now let's work on this part, and then basically you pinch it. I'm going to get it in there like that. And this right here is a cheap, right here, like it's $8 for the Milliput, but what you're doing is you're cutting out the frustration of sizing stuff up. Some of us, we don't have the mechanical, or should I say not mechanical, the fabrication know-how of Clutch or Sheldon, or some of these other builders do. I know K&D, he's a machinist too, and he's offered to do stuff for some of us in the hobby. One thing I would like to suggest on that, if you guys do ask someone for help, you got to realize you got to be patient. Just because someone knows how to do something and they offer you some help, sometimes people get way greedy, or I should be first type thing. There's a couple guys that do good work, but they take their time, and I'm guilty of the same thing right here, even with this right here. I've had this Regal for a while, but then I start working on my own stuff, and the way my ideas start to flow and everything, I got to put them down in plastic, or I'll lose it. And some of these guys have gotten some bad names and gotten some bad reps just based on the length that it takes them, because somebody thinks, well, I should have had my build done already, and they go out there and start saying, well, this, that, and the other, rip me off because he's had my product for such and such amount of time, or like that. And I get upset reading those posts, because some of them are actually good guys. We just get caught up sometimes in other projects and things going, things going about in life. And if I ask you to build me a custom frame, I got to be patient. I got to make sure to be patient. If I'm asking you to give me a custom paint job, or, a custom interior console, resin pieces or something like that, you got to understand there's factors involved. I got a wife, kids, but on another note, if I was to sell the resin I make, I should be able to provide you with the resin once I take your money. So there's two different sides to it. So like, if you guys hit up KD for some aluminum work, because he has explained to us even in his videos that he can do some aluminum work, you got to be patient. Because what he's doing, he's custom crafting stuff to a specific order. He don't have a whole bunch of it made up. But for me, if I was to tell you, yeah, you know, I'll sell you some resin stuff that I make, I should, in return, if you send me 20 bucks, I should be able to get that out in the mail already. You shouldn't sell something that you don't have ready. Unless it's like a special pre-order thing and you know you'll be able to, you know, provide the order. But that's just me, guys. Alright, now right there, that's just a quick use. Since you're using the Milliput, if I was to mix up the filler that I usually use, it's really wet. It wouldn't stay in there. It wouldn't hold the shape. It'll be good to clean all this up once it hardens. But what you did is you made that shape in a decent amount of time. You had time to work with your product with the Milliput, and you can form it. You can make it work for you. Because I would still be cutting plastic and measuring plastic for that, you know. And then the door is shut, and then the door will open, and then I got all that. You got all that filled in. Now to do the front is going to be a little different because the way these hinges are set up. So what I think I'll do is once all this jam here is done, that what I'll do, because this right here will harden up, and they say 2 to 3 hours. I'll probably let it set up overnight, and usually what I'll do is I'll shape. See the lip I made? I left a lip here on this interior wall. So what I'll do is I'll take the Milliput and I'll flare that up, and then I'll go in there and sand out what I need to for that hinge to have some room. But we'll probably just plastic that off to hide that gap, but I won't be able to do that until a later time. Hello, Jimmy. Guys, Jimmy's latest video out. He needs some help on finding out some airbrush stuff. And then his video prior to that was a really nice looking El Camino he's building. I really like that orange Jimmy. So if you guys have the Iwata Neo and can help Jimmy out, go over there and check out his video. And leave your thoughts on how you can help him. He's kind of stuck at the moment, and would really appreciate any help you guys can give him. Alright, guys. So now you see me do that. Now that you've seen that happen, I'm going to let that set up for a little bit. And then I'm going to, we're going to go work on the other side right now. There's many cars on the contest table, many of them, that people cut the doors open and then they don't do no jam work. They just glue the door panel to the door, and, you know, so sometimes that right there, you gotta put a little effort into it sometimes, guys. Let's get that. Get that. What else did I see out there today? Just glancing. Sheldon's got working on a crazy looking little project. I like the way he built his firewall. It puts the motor back behind the engine cowl, and that's a good looking little car, man. So right now we're just going to mix up some more Milliput so I could do this this side of the car. Bill, like I said, Bill posted up a video. He's showing some of the stuff he's got going on. Bill, did you attend the Kirkwood show last weekend? Um, I got this. Let me show you, Ron. This right here is Milliput. They come in different, what I'm using today. I'm using this Milliput, and it's called a 2-part epoxy putty. And I got this at Hobby Lobby. And then, you know, with your 40% off coupon, you know, you're talking $4.20 or something like that out the door. So it was worth the shot. It was worth, it's worth it in time, just based off of what I'm already working with. It was good, so I thought I'd try it out, and so far I like it. I've asked a few questions, but like I said, a lot of the guys I was getting encouragement from to use this, they're not automotive builders. They were using this, well, I shouldn't say they're not automotive builders. Their forte is different stuff in the hobby. So I was asking questions to my friends over there at the ISM guys, and a lot of them spoke highly of this. Now, there's other things out there that people, they wouldn't recommend this as a putty. This right here could be used as a putty, but in order to mix it and the way it weighs out, you know, you'd waste more of the product just trying to fill in something. This right here is more of a shaper. You can get your shape out of it, and that's why a lot of the military guys that I know, they use this to build sandbags and stuff like that. You can add great detail to it. It's easy to shape and form, but it's really the way we have to mix it up. It's easier to create stuff with it than using it for a filler per se. Yeah, guys, I mean, like I said, I've mentioned them before. I know a few of you guys go over there and follow them, but you'll be surprised what the community can share, even if it don't show your interest. Like if you go to Andy's Hobbies page, he's mostly, you watch him build, most things he builds is tanks. And Steve Sutton, he does model kit reviews, and he usually does military stuff, some sci-fi stuff, but it piques the hobby man's interest. So there's other aspects to the hobby that's, you know, maybe you car guys can't follow, but, or don't want to follow, I should say, not that you can't follow it. But then once you see some weathering jobs, or some dioramas, and some people call them vignettes, you know, you get ideas of stuff that you want to do. Like just this week, you have Brett from the ISM live crew. He's been doing some sprue reviews, and it shows some pretty neat kits. And then I've picked up a few kits off of like John Sharpie. He's been doing, John likes the military vehicles, and so he shared some stuff that's really piqued my interest. Where am I going for? And then right here. And then, like, I got a Sheldon, when Sheldon built that Plymouth for his buddy, and he showed that sideways blower, man. You know, that's something that I think would look cool in a little Ford or something, you know, a little 4-cylinder with the blower on it, you know. So just keep in touch and what's going on out there in the community. There's a lot of good stuff. Yeah, Jay. One thing that's frustrating, I'm just going to say out loud, one thing's frustrating to me is being added to groups that I usually wouldn't attend to or know of, you know what I mean? So that's why I wouldn't add anybody to anything. I'd ask you. And most of the people that I've added to my Mr. Mini Greens page without asking are already on my friends list. And I know your purpose was to follow what I'm building. I just didn't want to add people. But I know I've read a few comments where, you know, people get highly upset when they're added to a page. And I got added to a bow tie only page on Facebook, and I posted up some pictures of a cutlass, and like, to got internet beat up because it wasn't a bow tie. And I was like, well, actually, an Oldsmobile and Chevy are still GM. And then a kid was like, oh, this is just for the bow ties, all this other stuff. And I'm like, yeah, what an idiot, you know. But that's just something you got to handle when you share your builds. So right there, get both door jambs done. Used very little of the epoxy, the Milliput. So that's a plus. You don't have a lot of throwaway. You can go in there and check your work. You still got time to move it. Because like my body filler that I usually use, or the plastic, you can't go in there and test fit until it's already, you know, in place. And at least with this right here, we could test fit it. So it's right here, it's going to be a pretty good. And you're not only filling in your jams here, you're also filling in the underneath stuff. And I got my tape is lifting right there, probably because of the water. You can go in there and you can form it and do what you got to do to it. So hopefully that helps you guys. I used it for doing the door jambs for Dwayne's Regal, but maybe you guys can find other uses for it. I ain't got my glasses on. There it goes. So at least that right there, when Dwayne opens his doors to show his interior work, you know, all that, it will have jams in it, you know. And plus, when you're adding a lot of plastic to do your jams too, everywhere you glue, you got to do your body work. You got to make sure you get it. So this right here, once this is all set up into place, it will be able to be sanded too, you know, so you could do some more reshaping. Yeah, that could be too, John. And then, you know, you guys seen how much little I cut. I still have this right here. So, you know, as long as you have a project out, you don't have to worry about it going to waste. I used it to fill in the front bumpers here. I didn't like the fog lights. And then I was having problems when I built that new panel for this. I shoved it back in there, and then I put in the pieces of glasses. Then I shaved to fit, and then that way right there, now I have a solid piece. I can put my tail lights in, see if you guys can see that. So when I get all this painted, so that's about it for the how-to portion of the thing. I want to appreciate all you guys that took the time to come in and join me today. If you guys want to stick around for a little bit, I think I'll stay online for a little bit and do some building, if that's all right with you guys. I'm going to do some reshaping of this front bumper, because I added this in here, and then the bumper itself does this, and then it blops back up there. But then on the snap kit, it also has a front lip like so. So I'm going to try to do some reshaping and then emphasize this lip. If you guys have time, go over there to Chris Cortell's page and give him a little bit of encouragement. I know a lot of people are doing the CP101 honor build for him, but his chemo treatments are being hailed on him right now, and he could, you know, he's going through little rough spots here right now, so he's not getting much modeling in as he wants to. Maybe you guys just pop over there, give him a few words of encouragement. I can only imagine what the hell he's going through, not only being the first time battling it, but, you know, so I know he's working on the build that he got from his brother. That Volkswagen is going to be super cool. So he's trying to stay motivated and building, but right now he's off work while he's going through chemo, and it'd be really nice if you guys just stop by there, leave a comment on a video, or go check him out on Facebook and leave a comment. Sometimes right there, I know we all have our own personal things we got to deal with, but sometimes, you know, just letting somebody know you're thinking about him, could be beneficial, not only to them, but also to you, you know. Just a quick little resand. Let's see what we got here. That right there. Just trying to sand out this little spot. Chris Cortell over at Classic Plastics 101. Yeah, Model Mind. He's fought cancer a few times, and then he went back for a regular checkup earlier this year and found out that he had some tumors coming back. So they put him into chemo. He's off of work, but these last rounds of chemo have caused, I don't know if you guys have ever had chemo treatment, but it's caused some sores in his throat and in his mouth, which makes eating and drinking and stuff like that kind of a pain in the ass, stuff that we take for granted. He's kind of having a rough go of it right now. One hell of a builder, a super great teacher. Teach you guys, he'll share anything with you guys. So even if you don't follow him, it's Classic Plastic 101 here on YouTube, and on Facebook there is a Classic Plastic 101 page. A lot of work right now is being done by his brother, which is super awesome, because his brother's taken on a lot of stuff since Chris got sick. But great guys. So just go over there and check him out. Just stop by, check out what he's doing. So like I hear, I'm reshaping that, making that right there all smooth compared to this other side. So now I'll start re-rounding that. it looks like with me trying to re-round it, I'm causing a little bit of a gap right there, but I'm thinking we can pull that together like that, you know. So I'm not really worried about that. I could also go in here and sand all that up. Hello, Todd. You guys all have fun at the Saltwater Classics you guys all went to? I know Pappy enjoyed it. He's talked about it ever since he come back. He's got the motivation down there, get down there on the bench. It was nice to see little James Schultz made it. And if you guys don't follow Trucks Custom, James Smith, he's did some good interviews this year already, and you know there's more shows to come, and I really enjoy those 3 questions with the modeler. He got a hold of little James down there, and James did his 3 questions. It's just something that James that plays with trucks started. He enjoys it, and it brings a little bit of personalization, not only to YouTube and to someone's channel, but you know, it gets them more involved. So that's a great thing that I like what the 3 questions with the modeler is. And his boy one of the kids just graduated. So I mean, James has got a lot going on in his life. Plays with trucks, I should say, not Young Model Master. He just had a boy graduate, and you know, moving on into life and doing some stuff, and you know, it's crazy. I'm looking at my oldest right now. You know, he's only got a few years left, and my twins, they're about to be moving on to middle school here pretty soon too, and I'm like, man, where's it all go? I'm using the UMP sanding products, guys. If you guys can see, Scale World, he bought a set. Needs to get to using it, and a lot of other people ask me what my products were, and I get them all from UMP. There was some conversation on the Facebook page, and I would have to agree with UMP. Sure, you guys can buy sanding files and stuff like this from a makeup store, but guys, my body work is baking soda and super glue, which is not very soft at all. Some body fillers, and these right here have been holding up. I've used some of the stuff that my wife used, and I would beat the shit out of it. I'd rather pay $4 for a package of 3 of these shipped to the U.S. versus using the dollar ones that are thinner than these, and you know, I only get a use or 2 out of them. That's just for me. Yeah, it used to be called Plays with Trucks. So look up Plays with Trucks or Trucks Customs. So it all really breaks down to personal, you know, what do you prefer, and your funding. Like John Pohl has his concerns now with some of the products that he used to enjoy using that he can't get now at a viable rate, being that he's Canadian, and you know the cost of shipping and stuff has gone up. There you go. There's the new shape. And that way it brought out this bottom lip right there. So if you guys can see that. And then it put the bumper itself more at a roundness. thought about cutting. See, this is the chassis that comes with the snap kit. And I thought about cutting all this stuff off, you know, and then being able just to glue it onto the body to make it more of a one-piece type thing. I just don't know yet. I know I got to drill out the exhaust. What do you think? Cut all this molded stuff off and glue it to the body? What do you guys think? Leave all the ground effects attached to the kit floor, or cut it off and glue it to the body, and that way I can get hello, Stig. If you guys ain't checked out Stig, they made him change his name on Facebook. They made me do the same thing. You know, for some reason, even on our personal page, if we had a page where we sold stuff and, you know, all that stuff, we can use Stig and Mr. Mini Dreams, but for some reason we can't. So Stig had to change his name. It's Bob what? I forgot what the last name was, Stig. You guys need to go over there and check out. He's posted a lot here on the Mr. Mini Greens page. Plus, he has his YouTube page. But, man, he's working on a rig. And it's a big rig. No pun intended. Yeah, Bob Mano. The details he's putting into it, he's lit up the dash with fiber optics, custom door panels. He's working on the interior now. The rig's going to be sick. And it's a, what is it, 1/14 scale, Stig? Yep, 1/14. It's a big one, fellas. It is a big one. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut this up. So what I just done here real quick is I just drawed me some black lines real quick. So I'm going to cut all those off. Oh, Stig, that big rig truck started out as an RC car. Alright, there's all the chassis cut up. Now we just gotta clean it up. I cut right through the Revell, the Revell stamp, because I had to get rid of it anyway. Hello, Punch. How you been? Yeah, there's always a lag in BP. There's always a lag, but... So what I done is I cut the chassis so that way I can glue the body parts in here. And then, you know, I can do some different work and customizations to them to fit my desires. So all I'm doing right now, guys, is I cut the chassis up, and I'm just getting the body work cleaned back up after my cuts. Hey Stig, in your neck of the woods over there in the UK, do you get a chance to attend model shows? I know there a lot of guys they like to go to Telford. I didn't know if that's something that you attend to. And Jimmy, are you located in the UK too, Jimmy? Just in case you guys ever build a snap together Mustang and you guys get confused on what is the front or rear, Revell has stamped it front. Yeah, Jimmy, I heard Telford's a pretty big show. I know the guys I talk to from over there, they really enjoy it and they look forward to it all year. You got Northern Modeler, you got International Scale Modeler. He goes there, Paul Lee. You got Timothy Ivets. A lot of those guys. Thanks, Bill. I know a lot of the guys from over there, they really enjoy it. Sounds like a pretty neat show. Vendors heaven, you know, like if you go in there to buy products and stuff, I heard it's just loaded and loaded with people selling and building. Hello, Josh. Thanks for coming over and hanging out at the live portion of it. If you guys ain't subscribed to Realism Design, go over there and check him out. He is a car builder and has ventured over with following Gilbert over there at the Styrene Syndicate and stuff. He too has been joining in with doing the figures and stuff like I had been doing. And Josh does a lot of building with the family too. So you guys got to go check out him. Not as busy as, you know, me on the video end, but he's always building something. And a great guy, good company. So go over there and check him out. Hey, Jimmy. I picked this big old boy up. Jimmy. And I know that a lot of the guys, unfortunately, over the side of the pond model shows are mainly military, few cars and trucks, no Pacific shows there. Yeah. Well, that's why I picked this big boy up by watching what a lot of the different stuff international builders are building. And over in the Czech Republic, Eduard has a lot of photo etch for this. I plan on doing some crazy stuff to this. I already got the photo etch for the lights. Now, Mike Jolly's models, that's Models for Less, right, Punch? So right now I've already got the photo etch door, engine bay doors. I got the photo etch headlight protectors. But man, I'd like to find the Eduard dash gauges for this. It comes with detailed decals, but the Eduard stuff is photo etched. Look how little this thing is. This is the cab. It fits in my hand. This is going to be such a cool build. But here is, here's the photo etch I got. And it's some great looking photo etch with this. But with the Eduard stuff, all the gauges and everything are done in photo etch instead of a decal. You can see how little those are. And these are going to be a pain in the rear end to get, you know, located right. So I was going to try to pick up the Eduard kit. And I didn't know if any of your guys' hobby shop over there, Jimmy, stocked them. Stock Eduard. This right here is a Hobby Boss, but it's also the same as the Trumpeter kit, Jimmy. But look, I would love to have a full sheet of this. Could you guys imagine if we had a full sheet of this for our car grills? That would be so sick. So I picked this up. I got this off of Scaled Graveyards Auctions. It's a Facebook page. Every Friday night through Sunday. Oh, Sheldon, you have this? I wasn't going to do mine military. Mine, I want to do mine like, I'm gonna put a plow on the front of it. And I'm going to build me some rescue stuff. And I wanted to have this to be like an Arctic snowcat or something per se. My model shows they don't let military stuff in, even in the miscellaneous class. So I'm going to build it as like a snowcat. And that way I can put it in miscellaneous, or I could put it in the service class. But they're basically all automotive strict. So it has to be cars, trucks, motorcycles, and they don't let the sci-fi and that kind of stuff really in our show. Yeah, Jimmy, that's fine. I can do that, bud. But what I'm going to do is, these right here would come with canvas doors. I'm going to make mine have steel doors on it. I'm going to have mine be the steel doors. I was going to put spotlights on it, do a plow. I wanted a ladder. The one Facebook is Scale Graveyards. And the other one is Models for Less. Now, the Models for Less is Mike Jolly. Bill, everything's going to be either in the pound or euro. But he will sell to the U.S. He'll explain it to you first that, you know, you might find it cheaper on our eBay or whatnot. But on Models for Less, they're all straight prices. He does straight shipping to you. It's not like he's selling stuff and then he waits for Hobby Link of Japan to release it. And you got to check out some of the others. Now, the Trumpeter just released a Mars kit. And it's in 1/35th scale. And basically somewhat kind of the same here. But on this one here, this is cargo. This is your engine bay, and the engine goes clear across there. The motor sets like a regular car would, but then the radiator and everything sets off to the side of it. And this right here is a cargo holder, and this right here would be for the military guys to ride in, the passenger. But the Trumpeter has, the Mars is, all this back here is a flatbed and has a great big old missile launcher that raises up and shoots. Now, I wanted that one too because there's a builder, if I can't think of his last name now, but his name is Carlos. He turned one into an information center for like where the drones would retrieve information. So he's kind of made it modern. You know, he took it away from this war period and made it more of a modern track vehicle. And I kind of want to build what he did. And then I want the AVF Club tracked carrier. The AVF tracked carrier kind of looks like a 50 Chevy cab up here, and then it has a cargo area back here. But that's what I wanted to do with this one, is make it like a rescue vehicle, an Arctic Snowcat or something like so. But I like how this. Wonder how many people in war really did that. He's using his brain collector as a pot. Do you see that? How it's boiling coffee right there. That's crazy. Some great looking box art. I'm not much into military stuff just yet. I just was building stuff to broaden my horizon. You know, to get different aspects and feel of different things in the hobby. But man, they do have some wonderful box art. This right here is super neat, and it's pretty neat to hear that Sheldon has military kits like this as well. That's cool. Because my first intention was I could part out a tank, and I got the 2 tanks from Jay. Did you see people getting the 63 Novas for like $200 now? I can't believe that. And guys, the Trumpeter Nova, just like their Monte Carlo, it was great to have the subject in full detail. Because the AMT Monte Carlo, the hood and firewall, none of that fit. There's great big old gaps. Everything was molded into the chassis. But man, you want to talk about sink marks out the yin yang. The Nova, the Bonneville that they had released first, and then the Novas, and then the Monte Carlos. The bodies were just so full of sink marks, man. Half the car was filler by the time you got done, and now, man, they have skyrocketed. That's just enough of me chit-chatting about that. I see. That's why I say over here, Punch. Over here, the slot car guys are eating them up. And they are paying big money. It draw the value up for those Trumpeter Novas way high over here in the U.S. Don't get me wrong, it's a good kit. They haven't had the kit out since '64. And then in '65, they cut it up. Well, I shouldn't say that. They made the '62, 3, and 5. And then they stopped making it. And then when they did bring it back out, it was the Rat Packer car. And by then, they had cut up the chassis and stuff and made it the altered wheelbase. So it was great to have that car back, but that's one that's going to, you know, it needs some work. Yeah, big bucks now. Yeah, they were 45. And even to the point to where Trumpeter's prices itself as a company has climbed over the last couple of years, and that's one reason why a lot of Trumpeter kits didn't go back to Hobby Lobby. is because of the retail rate versus the buyer's rate. And so that's why you've seen a lot of the Aeroshima and stuff disappear from the Hobby Lobbies, I was told, is just because of the height increase and all this stuff. A lot of the American companies sell it cheaper, so they have a markup because they take in advance. They give, us US guys at Hobby Lobby, we get a 40% off coupon. So they still got to be able to profit, and they didn't see where they could profit and stuff like that. And then Italeri has been letting other people use their molds and changing the boxes and stuff here. So like World of Tanks is all Italeri stuff. And so if you're not familiar with the way Italeri fits and everything like that, some of that stuff is pretty frustrating for some of the people. But like, I built the Italeri rigs and trucks. I understand they're plastic, and some of their plastic's not very forgiving. You try to shape it and it's going to break. Alright, let's... We had some hellacious storms blow through here yesterday, Bill. Did you guys get any down there? I know you guys have been battling rainstorms all spring already. Jay, I like them. I haven't airbrushed with them yet, but I like them. I enjoy them. So, like I said, I got the 30 mil refill, and I got, the regular markers themselves. But man, you can brush paint with these, or you can use these, or you can airbrush with them, which is good. And I just cut my damn finger. Casualties of war. Where's my super glue? Put a little super glue on there. Be done and forgotten about. Done and done. Hello, Gothic. Looks like Gothic's in here with us. I think I heard Brett talking that he's finishing up editing his video of the rusting. Man, I can't remember which company he's using. But he's using a product he's going to be sharing with you guys pretty soon. Brett Marquette, High Altitude Scale Modeler. You guys can go check out his channel. I'm anxious to see that get posted up. What happened was he'd been buying products to, do some rusting tutorials on products that we can buy and use. But he was working on a Mustang and it melted on him. So he's been using this as a test subject. And it reminds me of those goofy Revell Zingers, where it looks like the car's doing a wheelie and bending in half and stuff like that. That's what the Mustang reminds me of, and being a Mustang fan, it's pretty cool to see him using it as a test pig. And I was watching the ISM guys, and they named their test pigs, and to hear him say, well, I'm going to grab Steve and try this out on Steve, it's pretty funny to me anyway, guys. And then Brett, too, has also been doing some kit reviews. So if you guys have been interested in doing something other than automotive, check out some of these other channels and then look at what they're sharing before you guys go buy. That way you don't make an impulse buy and then have no excitement and even attempting to build it. So what I did here is I drilled out the exhaust, and then I glued this piece on so that way I cut all this stuff off of the chassis, and then I'll rework all that and then get it back in there. And I want to do the front end. And since I've been reshaping the front end a little bit, I'm going to glue this into place too. Gothic, how you been feeling, bud? Now I got the front valance glued in. A little bit more right there. Then now we'll try the chassis. And I have to sand the chassis down just a little bit to give it clearance. Once I get all the paint and everything on there, I'll still need to do a little bit of clearance issues, so we'll get all that done. There you guys go. Now get these side skirts on. And really what I'm doing here, guys, is just scuffing up. Just scuffing up this bottom so that way it will hold some super glue. Following the ISM guys, you guys, there's some young builders over there. Like we have James over here in our model car community. That's a really good builder. They have some younger guys over there that are building, and you wouldn't believe some of the details that some of these younger guys are putting into their planes and stuff. Some really great builders. There's one really exciting builder over there. He don't have the finishing and detailing as, say, some of the other guys over there, but his excitement is really great to watch, and his name is Josh's Models. And then you have another kid over there, maybe 16, 17, Jamie Dart. And Jamie, this young man, oh my God, he's going to be a deal to reckon with when he gets up there. He's already showing builds. I mentioned Telford a while ago. You guys seen me and Jimmy talking about it. The young man and his father have been going to Telford and getting up on there. And then there's they ain't been really active here lately. But Chris and Alex Modeling, I've always enjoyed their father son. And for younger guy, Alex can build too. And that's what's great is seeing these younger guys really adapting to the hobby and getting the enjoyment that some of us have been, that we've been in, building for years. I gotta get to the post office today too, I forgot. Alright, so now we got both skirts on. Both side skirts. Now I can reshape them. Oh, punch. They're not permanently in place. I just did it to see. I had to see what it would look like. So I don't know yet. I know we was talking last week about leaving a free window, free stance window. But right now I just... Yes and no. I don't like all of them, Jimmy. I like the Fox bodies, say from 79 to 93. And then I like the '06 to newer. I wasn't much of a fan of the round Mustangs. You know, I never really got into the 94s through 99. I just didn't like the shape for some reason. Yeah, it just really never grasped me. Then see, we got this. And then let's see. Oh, I see. I'm gonna have to clean those up. Yeah, I think the comment that Punch just made at the show I attend to, a curbside can be anything visual done to the car without picking it up or open up the hood. And a slammer is usually just based on the body. No interior detail, no chassis detail. It's just usually, at the shows that I attend, the slammer, usually they're just all blacked out windows. And basically you're just looking at a body and the wheels and tires. But a curbside would be not looking at the chassis, have interior detail, and some classes will allow you the hood to open, and other shows wouldn't. Yeah, but basically, this right here will be a curbside. Yeah. Yes, I've seen that, Jimmy. It's not cheap either. They offer it. They offer the whole damn TDR. It's a 3D printing company. They offer the whole body. Then they offer one where everything is open. Then there's a few other resin companies out there that offer it too. Yeah, but they get real expensive. I'm not much fan of the older. Your older Fords, the older Fords that grab my attention are the Fairlane, the Maverick. Then most of it would be coming back into the 80s and 90s, which I really loved the Fairmont and the Fox body Mustangs. And then I kind of lost, I kind of really wasn't even a T-Bird fan, so I kind of lost that. The only really T-Bird I cared for was the big boats, the LTDs and the Thunderbirds, the great big old boats, And the same thing with Chevrolet. I like the big Impalas. 69 is my favorite, and then I like the 70. Didn't care for the 71 2s or 3s. I like the 75 just because of the way the headlights and header panel was, but for the most part, not really a big fan of the Caprices until 79. The square. I'm a big square body fan. Like I said, the Fairmont, the Mustangs, the Delta 88s and stuff like that. I've always been a big square body fan. No, I like the shape of the Holdens and stuff that you guys would get in Australia, for the Australian fellas that join us. I always like the Holdens and the Commodores and and stuff like that because they kind of resembled smaller Fords and Chevys. You know. It's not that I don't like the donks. Hey, it's just I never really grasped them. They wasn't for my go-to. I've always been more of the lowrider guy, the more of the switches and 13s and the white walls and custom paint. And I've always gravitated to the squares and not the mid 70s stuff. Like I said, the 69 and 70 are my favorite Impalas. But just never really grasped the other ones until the boxy stuff came back in 77, 78, 79. That style. I really didn't even care for the Euros. When the Euros came, I'd rather have the regular front end cutlasses and the regular front end. Well, I can't say that. I like the LS Monte Carlos, looked really good. A monster Carlo. Get fingerprints. That's a side effect of being a custom builder. I'm sure Lucifer and Gothic will tell you. You start customizing crap, and next thing you know, you got glue where you didn't want glue at. But here's the tail lights I came up with, Punch. And then right now, like I said, right now they're not fully secured in yet. So I don't know if I like that or not. Yeah, I would agree with you on that one, Hate. Um, I would agree with you on that one, bud. Now there's some. Don't get me wrong. I love the big Cadillacs. From 77 up until 84. And then when we lost those and they started going to the front wheel drive stuff, I was never really a big body fan until, I don't know if you guys that are following me know the custom car scene or the lowrider scene. I really wasn't a fan of the big body Cadillac until Topo started doing the two doors. And then once I seen the big body in a two door, I'm like, man, that thing is beautiful. And then he's done the convertibles and stuff. Um, Topo is a custom car builder, guys, out of Cali, and he does some great custom work. A lot of wide body kits that Topo does. Um, but he was taking the Cadillac Fleetwoods and making them convertibles. And I mean, he's got lowriders of the years built out of more vertical. That's if I keep it, Punch. I still don't know. Because I still like the idea we were tossing around about being a floating window. So I don't know if I'm going to keep this still yet or not, bud. That was just me putting something in there, just looking through ideas. So I still might not go with no window pillar at all. But you think it'd look better straight up and down? What do you think about the thickness? That looks about appropriate, though, if I do go with the pillar. Yeah, I... Yeah. And see, that's another one of my favorite cars was the Malibu. The Malibu two doors, the Malibu wagons, because I think I gravitated to the Malibus because of the square. I tell you, I'm a huge square fan. Now, I would love to have a 79 Monte Carlo all done up, juice and everything like that. But then if I had to settle for a big one, I like the single headlight 74 Monties versus the double stacked headlights that came on, you know, the 77, 78s. And then, but I really liked the little 79s when they started making the 79 Monty, 78s and 79s, the single headlight. You know, I really liked those. All right, Jimmy. Have a good day, bud. Well, I guess a good evening for you. Yeah, I think Jimmy's like 6 hours ahead of us, so it's dinner time for him, and we're all about to eat lunch over here. Punch, what time is it over there? Here's my intentions for the rear glass, Punch. I might not understood your statement. But here's the rear glass. And that's the rear glass in. Or are you talking about right here? Oh, okay. So you need something should be right here, you said? Where is... See, if the window was in, plastic here is pretty thin. But if the window was in, oh, okay, yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Now we need to get on the wagon part itself. What do I do here? If we go with that, and go with that. I think I'm going to glue the interior tub to the floor and then start building the interior box. Because the way all this is set up, I'm going to lose all this when I go to cut it. So I think I think that's what I'll do. Set this in place. And glue it all in place. And then start building the rear end. No, I don't want to do it as a delivery. Alright, thanks, Too Tall. Now, Too Tall has been joining. He's got into a few of the Friday night hangouts with Young Model Master, 8 Second Speed Shop, and Fred Henry over there. So if you guys have some free time, I know middays is best for me, and that's why I do the show right now. But on Friday nights, the Young Model Master, Skylar Joella, the one they call him, he goes by 8 Second Speed Shop. If you guys want to know their channel names, and Pappy over there at Fred Henry's shop, him and Skelly and them, they tune in Friday night, and they do a little live hangout on YouTube. You guys can conversate back and forth like you do here, but usually it's a group of those guys get together and build. Clifton Smith, Sheldon's jumped in there and hung out with them. I've just been busy, had a lot of stuff on my mind, but I've been trying to want to spotlight Sheldon's work each week, and I did it one time, and and it slipped my mind. Sorry about that, Sheldon. But I think right now, I'm going to kill this off, go get me some lunch, get some stuff shipped out, and you guys have a great day. Thanks for following me. Yeah, I understand, John. So you guys have a good day. Thank you for following me. Hope you guys have fun and enjoyed yourself today, learned something, and met a new friend or two. So I'll see you guys later. You guys have a good one. This is Minnie, and I'm out.